Hi, everybody. It's Matt and Connie, and we are excited to introduce you to another new song. This one's called Praise You, Jesus, Praise You, Lord.
Exactly. And that phrase right there, you hear that phrase a lot at our house, don't you, Matt?
Yes.
Usually comes out when we are in a panic, when we think something is horribly wrong. It could be to do with our work or our house.
Or the kids,
yeah,
grandkids.
And then it turns out good and not as bad as we thought it was going to be, and then we hear
Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord.
Exactly. But what I think is interesting, that's the chorus to this song, but the verses of this song really are not about that kind of a subject. They're really based on something different.
Yeah, when started writing the verses to this song, it came out being about my health journey, which is interesting. When I had my first seizure, I lost my driver's license for a while.
6 months.
For 6 months. And I don't know if you've ever had to do this, but if you ever have had to call your friends and ask them for rides, it's a little embarrassing, and that was hard to deal with. And I was surprised that it was just such a challenge to my pride. Mm-hmm. And the Lord gave me a phrase, I guess, to deal with this. He told me, sometimes you're the helper and sometimes you're the helped.
Yeah, because you're a helper. I mean, you have helped people your whole life.
Yeah.
You have a servant heart. It comes easy. And you don't even really realize how much how you have to humble yourselves to accept help.
That's right. And you don't realize how much of a gift you're giving someone else by letting them help you.
Yeah. Yeah, so really the verses kind of talk about that journey. And so how then, when it comes to thinking about, all right, so we go through hard things, and how does that turn into praise then?
Well, that's really what the second verse talks about, is when I look back at the seizure, let's say,
Yeah.
and if I had got to choose whether or not that event would happen. Well, if I look at what all happened because of the seizure that I can go identify, I don't know what I would choose, whether or not the seizure would happen or not. So many doors were opened and so much joy and opportunity has happened. You know, his plans are to prosper and not to harm us. Mm-hmm. So even though that event looked like harm, I'm not so sure it was.
Yeah. So in the future, when we have a catastrophe and we think that the code doesn't work or something like that, we want to immediately say,
Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord.
So
if we could ever get that far in life.
Exactly.
Oh, man. So I hope you enjoy this little bluegrass tune. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord.
Amen.
Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. For this life I'm living, for everything you've given. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. When my health failed and I needed a hand, I found it was a challenge to my pride. I had to learn a lesson, know and find out for myself. Sometimes you're the helper, sometimes you're the helped. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. For this life I'm living, for everything you've given. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. When I look back, I can clearly see His plans are to prosper, not to hurt nor harm me. Give me a future, oh, and a hope. Praise to the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. For this life I'm living, for everything you've given. Praise you, Jesus, praise you, Lord. Jesus.